So welcome to this update. Allow me to start with this package file quickly, just show you that you actually installed that we have talked about, the Next.js server, the front-end library, React, this dependency. Then we have this for state management. We have this for our API. Then we have types for TypeScript, because you have to install those additional things. Then we have the styling CSS, which is Tailwind here installed. And that is basically it for our front end. The package is installed. So if we come here to the entry point of the Next.js app, our school management system, you can see that this is just the entry point and it has the header which I defined up here as a header, some metadata also to help with search engine optimization. And then there's this part here for the children where we can have pages like this, like the home page rendered. So this is where these pages are rendered and any other page, like even this one of the login. So the login is our interest because we talked of testing where front end can communicate with the back end. And so this is what we are going to do today. So if I come here if you can see this is our function that we are looking at, which is stored here in Auth stores. If I come to Auth, you can see the use Auth store where we have our register function that should be properly communicated at back end, and I'll be able to debug and see using these statements. This is how I debug to see whether there are any issues or anything, or whether things were successful. And then here, come to the Axios instance, and this is our actual point that allows us, or the API that allows us to communicate with the server. And as you can see, we have this function that where we define the headers, that are going to be sent to the server on the request. Let me say on the request header, the request point. So we have our interceptors that check for CSRF. This is cross-site reference forgery. So these are just checks for security to ensure that our things are safe. And when you come to our server, so when Axios, when this tries to communicate, this is the communication point. So when this tries to communicate using Auth, because now Axios is going to append our URL, this URL, and then it comes to Auth here, it will append it to this part, and then it becomes one URL, and then we send our data to the server where we are interested, of course, in the cross-origin resource sharing, which also disturbed me a bit. That's why I delayed to post this video, but we have it ready and working. Then we come here to route. So this is what we want to hit. And if I come to the channel here, where we shall see our Auth, now this is the point we want to get to. So in the terminal of the server, we want to see that register hit, because we are logging this to see the message. And we see whatever content we want to see from the request body, the context. That is core JS. Now when you come to, then we return, of course, the controller. This controller here is going to, of course, register into Prisma, and then we shall see Prisma. Here we first check, but to register it into Prisma, to create here, then we have our password ready. So let's test all this. I'm going to first come here to the back and the front, and then we do like this, open the terminal for the front end, which is for the back end. But for the back end now, sorry about that, I'm just going to open here, and this is how we start our server. And as I'm starting the server, let me also start up front end. You can see our server has started. You can see our server has started. I don't know what is wrong. Client has disconnected. Let me do this. If I can just stop this server. So Redis has an issue which I need to first sort out. So we are finally connected with Redis. There's having an issue with the internet, but yeah, we have connected and let me see our front end. Now here I'll just run npm run dev. We have our front end also running well there. Then you can fire it up just like that. So we don't need this anymore because that was closed. And so we have our front end. Just a simple interface, welcome message. So these pages are not yet there about courses, they're not yet there. So, but I'll come to the login straight up, and then we see that our registration form is there ready for us to register. So I tested some people, but I'm just going to show you that this thing actually works. So I'm going to just guess a name like Baine, put Bridget, say maybe Baine at email.com. Just sample. Remember, we are just testing. So I'll just do a random password. But I'll have to add a button here so that you can view or unview our password just in case you have made a mistake. Now the next thing I wanted to show you was this part where we inspect the element. I am able to see here in the console, the browser console, because this one is different from the server console. So we're going to see some activity. I have to just make sure that everything is set up. Yeah, we have our client ready. This was because of internet. That's why it kept, trying to reload and reconnect. So we're going to see something happening at this point here. Like some information will come, then we're also going to see some information on our what? Just here in our front end. So I'm going to create this account. You can see we first log the information before making the request, and we are waiting for a response as it's loading. Now this is what we wanted. We wanted a response where we receive the token, the refresh token. The user also comes back from the database. You can see we have our information here. This is now the response we got from our server. Now let me just visit our server a bit just here to see what happened. So you can see everything is green and looks nice. Things were working well. We have that information. This 202 means that it was created. And we have our insert information for Prisma. I'm going to show you the Prisma database. And then, yes, we have very useful information that shows us that everything was a success. So let me just also show you the Prisma database to show you that this was working. So this does not immediately show, but I'm going to just reload it here. So as I reload, you can see that our information is coming up. We have the different migrations we have done, but we can search in our audit log and you can see that the user has been registered here. So that's for auditing, but now let's come to our user table. The user table can show you that Mrs. Baine has been created and she's here as a student. That is her default role. So thank you so much for listening to this update. The next thing is now to start to implement the dashboards and to make sure that after I can register, I can log in and then I'm able to go to a dashboard and my session is kept well and all these things are flowing in sync. But let me just check out this session table to see that our sessions are actually being created. Wow. So stay tuned for the next update and this is so exciting. Thank you.